Humans spend roughly $1.6 trillion per year with Big Pharma on drugs.
Hello, everyone. This is Paula with Elevate Your Spirit, and it's the 15th of July, and this video is titled When Truth Punches You in the Face. Why did I choose that today as the clock hits 1:11? Because I feel like the collective of humanity is about to receive a punch in the face of truth. Now, sometimes truth is right in front of you, but we don't want to look at it. You could call this the blind spot, actually. You know it's there, but you don't want to look at it. You don't want to believe that it's true because it shatters your idea of reality. And I'll tell you about a little dream I had about that in a bit. But as you can see from this image on the screen, humanity has collectively created this monster. We did it. And what prompted this was, I remember when I was in Tulum, in Mexico, before I arrived here, in beautiful country of Ecuador in South America. We were in Tulum. And we were in the pool, and it was a gorgeous day. And I happened to say, "Oh, there's a snake in the pool." And some woman sat up. She's like, "What? Wait, where?" And I said, "Oh, there's a snake in the overflow of the infinity pool." And she came over, and her and I started chatting. And of course, there was a coral snake, highly venomous and dangerous, Corey and Trevor. But we started chatting, and we went and got a branch because he was drowning. And I believe in karma. I believe in cause and effect. And what you do will come back on you. So I'm like, I don't want that kind of karma. So we're going to save this little guy. So she grabbed a branch. We put a branch in there and helped that coral snake escape back into the jungle. Off he went. That felt good. So her and I were chatting. And she actually worked up in the mountains in San Miguel in Mexico. And she was there in Tulum on vacation. And she was telling me that she does research in the immune system, or on the immune system, for all the big, well, maybe not all. I don't remember what pharmaceutical company, but for one of them, or perhaps all. She was a researcher. And we started chatting, and she said, "Well, we did this to ourselves." And I go, "What do you mean? What do you mean by that?" She said, "Well, we did this to ourselves. We collectively, humans don't really want to do the work themselves. They'd rather take a pill," as an example, acid reflux, which is an indigestion issue. It's a problem. Your digestive system's not working properly, but we will go some, not all. We'll choose and go take a pill or go take some Tums or what have you, instead of addressing what's going on in their stomach. So we have created this multi-trillion-dollar industry, $1.6 trillion a year in drugs, including the V word, all of those, because we don't really want to take care of ourselves. Or perhaps the better way to say that is that we were taught to go to the doctor and to trust what the doctor says. Because my mom is 87 now. She was born in 1939. So if you look at that level of consciousness that she had, 1939, she tells me, "I do what my doctor tells me," in her lovely Welsh accent. My mom is about 5 feet and weighs probably 90 pounds, God bless her. But when her doctor recommended that she takes the shingles, she was sick for weeks with that. And I think it's important for us to recognize that we are in the reckoning right now. We are in the reckoning, a facing of oneself and our creations. And this big giant, ugly giant, we helped create. Now, you might say, wait, I didn't create it. Well, we did. We did, because we didn't want to take responsibility and accountability for our own wellness. I mean, I am aware of people that are having challenges, but they won't even breathe. They won't even practice 5 minutes of breathing. And my own partner, he knows he needs to move, but he doesn't move. I can't get him to do 10 minutes of yoga on the mat. This is exactly why we have created what we have created. This is our reckoning. This is a punch in the face of truth. It's a punch in the face of truth. And we're going to have a lot more of this. We're going to have a lot more of this. So get ready, people. Get ready. It's kind of hard to deny. You know what? You know what? If you stack $1.6 trillion, $100 bills on top of each other, according to AI, a little research on the Google network, that will reach something like, I think it said 678 miles. And $1.6 trillion, they expect it's going to grow to $2.4 trillion a year on spending on drugs. My family thinks I'm an absolute nut job because I don't take any drugs. I don't take any medication. I do everything holistically and naturally. And of course, talk about transformation. This is where I'm going to talk about that punch in the face. I had a dream a little while ago. So actually, I want to introduce you first. This is my Divine Feminine Roundtable. These ladies and I met well over a decade ago. And Lisa Gawlas, this beautiful woman here, who, God rest her soul, is not on this planet anymore. But she taught us how to see. We went down to visit her in Texas for a 10-day workshop. I think it was called Into the Void. And I shared with her a dream I had. I woke up one morning and I felt like I'd been hit in the side of my body with a bat. I was like, oh my God, what is this pain? I closed my eyes and I was like, what did I dream? What did I dream? What did I dream? And then I remembered I got punched in the face in a dream and I had a ball in my hand. I threw a ball up here and I knocked one of the people off the wall. And I had this pain in the side of my body for like 2 days. It was crazy. And then it went away. And so I shared that with Lisa and she said, your identity is going to be changed. And that is so true because humanity's identity is changing right now. We all believe that we're separate. We've been taught to hate each other when in fact we are all one. We are one collective soul. My guides, actually, this is my main guide, Paul Selig. And they have been teaching us for well over a decade that humanity only has one problem. And that is the belief that we are separate, the denial of the divine in ourselves and in everyone. So, talk about my identity changing. 8 years ago, I worked in corporate Toronto, selling Cisco equipment to some of the big organizations in the city. And now I live in South America. I've spent 5 years studying yoga, completed my Kundalini yoga training, which took a couple of years. You know, when the world's gone to hell in a handbasket, you might as well learn some new skills. So I've been studying yoga, almost finished a long course called Yoga Therapy, which is significantly strong in anatomy and therapies to support anybody that has just recovered from whether it's surgery or an illness of some kind and what have you. So humanity's transformation is happening. And these ladies here have been a part of my life for well over a decade. We get together every week to support each other in not only our individual transformation, but the world, the collective transformation of humanity's identity. We are the disclosure that we are the luminous human. And they don't want you to remember that that's who you are. They don't want you to remember that all ailments, disease, the antidote can be found in nature, that we're energy. You know, you're going to find out that there are CIA research projects that had proven the body can heal with certain frequencies, and all that has been buried. But that truth is going to come out too. So this is about a punch in the face of the identity of humanity. You're going to see more truths come out that are going to be quite shocking, quite disgusting, actually. And I'll share this with you. Rupert Lowe just came out with a report in the United Kingdom. They had to fund it themselves because the UK wouldn't look into all the rape gangs. And now that report has come out after a £600,000, I think they raised through public, thank you. But my father-in-law, my own father-in-law, told me to go F myself 3 times last year. One of the topic of conversation was the rape. And he's like, I don't think it's as bad as you think. And I'm like, that's not the point. The point is that this is being allowed to happen on this planet right now. And it should be a big, hard no, no, you can't do that. So we need the alpha men. Where are the men? Because without men, women can't protect themselves. We can't protect ourselves or our children from men who want to rape us. That is unacceptable. Now that that report has come out, perhaps he might feel a little foolish that when I was trying to share some truth with him that he was not ready to hear, it was easier for him to tell me, sod off, you're full of crap, you're full of shit, I don't believe that. Well, what happens when you finally figure out that most of our reality isn't the truth? It's been a deception. It's been a big lie. And so now with the astrological alignments that are here, and more whistleblowers coming out, more and more truth coming out, less people are being murdered for truth. Thank God. Because if they don't like the truth, they just take you out. For heaven's sake, my Divine Feminine Roundtable videos, I have like less than 700 YouTube followers out of 8 billion people on this planet. And 2 of our videos were taken down because we were talking about the jibby jabby doodah and how there is an alternative. And if you didn't know, I don't know if you know this, but if you didn't know, did you know it's illegal in America to cure the C word? It's illegal. So that doesn't get your head wrapped around the idea of this massive behemoth that we created because we continually go to them for the prescription drugs of stuff that we could do on our own. So sometimes truth frickin' hurts because it's not pretty. It ain't pretty, but the truth is the truth, and it stands alone. And finally, the truth must be heard here. The truth must be seen and must be heard because we are in the time of reckoning, a reckoning of oneself and one's creations. So go inside, go inside. You don't know what to do. You got to go to your heart. You've got to get wisdom from here because everything out there is distorted. One other thing I want to share with you that is absolutely insane. If you are angry, if you're pissed off, if you're mad, you cannot see clearly with your anger. I had someone tell me from somewhere else they would rather have the satanic version of Christ as the president of the United States. And I was like, oh, that is a very strong statement. The only equivalency that I can think of that on the planet would be a religion in which they support Sharia law. These are some of these countries in the Middle East. You could say Iran. They view women as nothing more than a piece of meat. They have no value for life. And that would be that version, no value for life. So I would ask you, if you've got a lot of hatred on board right now, you might want to look at what that hatred is about. Because if you're like, I hate him or I hate her, and you're pointing your finger at all the reasons why things are wrong, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. Maybe look at why that anger is there. Have a look at that, why you're so pissed. It's a bigger issue that needs to be explored and healed because as this light continues to saturate our planet, I don't know about you, but I'm plugging into that light. Absolutely. Charge me up. Burning bush. Yes, please, God. I want all your love and all your energy. Anyway, I've gone off onto a tangent. I got to figure out what the fuck else I need to say. I just started talking going on there. So, if you're angry, you can't see clearly. It's like boiling water. You can't see the bottom. You cannot see with clarity. And you're going to be pissed over some of these things that you're going to discover coming out. I've been saying this for years, and people have been saying that I'm a whack job weirdo for years too. But you know what? It sucks when you're right too soon. But finally, you're going to start seeing Maya, the illusion of this reality. And that is why you're told the kingdom is within. So whether or not you've received your own punch in the face of truth recently, know that you're not alone. And remember what it was like when you woke up first. It can be a bit scary going, oh my God, I can't believe this is true. People are losing their minds. And that is why the only place to find solace at this time is inside, not outside. You will not find any answers out there. You got to go in. You got to go inside. So if you don't have your own feminine roundtable, gather with your sisters, gather with your friends with like minds and support each other. Love each other and support each other. What the world needs right now is not more hatred, more division. It needs more unification. We're in this together. The truth stands alone, and lies need many to echo its deception. That's all I wanted to share today. That there's more truth coming out. You're going to find out about the server, the Seth Rich server. And I followed the Q drops right from the beginning. I've read them all at least twice. And just recently there were a couple of deltas. I think it was the 9th. There were a bunch of Q deltas that talked about how do you set the stage for the Hillary Clinton emails. Now you know the big monster of pharma that we collectively created. You're going to learn more about the politicians, some of these other people that actually openly worship Satan. They hate the light. They hate the truth. But that Q drop talked about how do you set the stage to show 3 videos. One with them having relations with an underage person. And another one, worse. You've probably heard of it. I'm just going to put the name on the screen because I don't want to say it, but that involved her, Huma, and a surgeon. And they decided to remove a face of this underage person. You got 250,000 conservative victims of Pakistani rape gangs in Britain. And very soon you're going to see the fraud, not only the American election, but 72 other countries. And you're going to see these videos come out. They're all concerned about the Epstein files. Why haven't the names come out? Because they're investigating all the crimes in there. And now wait for the Wiener laptop to come out. That is the undefendable, disgusting part. And that is where you will not be able to reconcile it without your soul, without the heart. You won't be able to. Because you're going to want to go shoot them. And that is very 3D of you. But when you see the big picture, that this was a inversion of a matrix, you could say billions of Tinkerbells with their glorious light trapped and unable to shine, harvested for their illusion energy, because those of this matrix can't create. They can only mimic. And the Divine Mother, the Holy Spirit, was hidden inside of all of us. And they could not see the archons. They could not see or find her. And that is coming back now. That is a resurfacing. You know, in my mind's eye, I see this massive cosmic being stepping towards our planet. And with each step, more and more is illumined. A lot of people don't want to go inside and be quiet because they don't want to see what they're scared shitless of what they might find. But what you will find is that you are a magnificent soul, a luminous human being, learning and growing. We're all works in progress, here to dance the dance of life together, but we forgot. We forgot. And we're stepping on our toes and punching each other and being mad and hating each other because those that wish for us to stay separate will create fake stories and a fake world for us to remain fighting with each other instead of us looking at what they are actually doing. So Godspeed, my friends, Godspeed. Most of you watching this, perhaps not, have some awareness of the truth. There will be more coming, and it will be shocking. So Big Pharma is just one example of what we as a collective have created. So take a peek at your own life. What have you created? What have you contributed to? And what no longer serves you? Cut those cords. Cut those. Get rid of that. Step into your heart space. And all you have to do is start with 5 minutes. 5 minutes to breathe. You got to breathe anyway, so you might as well do it properly. And stop funding Big Pharma. If you know you need to move, then get your ass off the couch. Do something. Start with 5 minutes a day and slowly build a habit. It's 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Start building a positive habit that will get you to where you want to be. Because as we age, you need to remain mobile. Your bones need to be strong, and they need the muscles to be strong to keep the joints from grinding in each other with just normal wear and tear. So get off the couch. Do a few minutes of exercise. Start to breathe properly. Start with a count of 5 and out with 5. These are simple things that you can do. You get acid reflux in your stomach, maybe take a look at what you're eating. Don't just go to Big Pharma and give them a few more trillions of dollars of your money. Maybe look at fennel seeds, fenugreek, yoga, meditation, pranayama, breath work, natural things that will support your health and vitality. Instead of just throwing your money away to Big Pharma, which is just like going to Vegas. You might as well just empty your bank account right now into the ditch. So, my friends, this was your punch in the face of truth for today from someone who loves humanity deeply. And I hope that your glorious heart guides you through these waves of truth, the tsunami of truth, you could say, that is upon us. And have a beautiful day. Please share this with someone who you think it might help. And if I can support you in any way, I will. Just reach out to me, and I can help you if you will allow it. Take care. Namaste, my friends. The light in me loves the light in you, as my lovely friend Jennifer shared last week online. Take care. Bye now.